And welcome back. We're talking about the Village Legacy Project right now. Executive Director, Bank Street BIA, Christine Leadman. Nice to have you here again.
Nice to meet you too, Dylan.
And the wonderful Glenn Crawford as well, researcher for the Bank Street BIA's The Village Legacy Project. Nice to see you, Glenn.
Thank you very much for having me.
Love the bow tie.
Thank you.
Looking sharp today.
I feel special with the microphone.
we give the microphone to very special people. Not that you're not special, Christine.
Yes.
Just trying to make them feel good.
That's good.
Okay, Village Legacy Project. Christine, would you like to speak to us about what exactly that is?
Well, it's basically a celebration of the LGBT community in the city of Ottawa. A historic retrospective of the community, in particular along Bank Street, where the village is actually designated within the village, within Bank Street. So it was really to highlight that history for the LGBT community that people may have forgotten. And really bring it to life like other cities have.
Okay. What does it mean to be a researcher for this, Glenn? What exactly have you researched?
Well, I was involved with the formation of the village, that happened in 2011. So when I was hired on to become the researcher, it was a big honor because I was very passionate about the village to begin with. So it's about sort of recognizing the past and acknowledging everything that we've gone through. I mean, I'm 47. Within my lifetime, we've gone from homosexuality being decriminalized to where we are today, where we have, most of our basic human rights recognized. So it's a very short history. It's a living history because the people who worked on all of these initiatives are still alive, or most of them are, to sort of tell the tale. So it was really important to talk to people and then also go through and do the research. Okay.
Did you find stuff that you didn't know about before that very important to have out there, obviously?
Yeah, well, I have a background in journalism as well, and particularly with the LGBT community. So I knew quite a bit of the history and sort of knew where to start. But certainly there were a lot of things that I learned about, particularly how long Bank Street had been important to our community. And then within interviews that I conducted with activists, some of the personal stories they told were pretty incredible. Things that I knew happened, but I didn't know necessarily happened to individuals. So it put a real personal stamp on the history, and that was something that I felt was really important because we're trying to reach to younger generations, and I think that's kind of the way to sort of make the history come alive and interesting for them. Okay.
Christine, why did the village become officially designated by the city back in 2011, finally, like after all the years?
I think, well, that was because of the efforts of people like Glenn, the city councillor at the time, Diane Holmes, and also Mayor Watson. So it was really pulling it all together through that effort. It was actually before my time, before I was on the BIA.
Oh, you were okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm just wondering because obviously, I mean, the LGBT has been a part of that community for such a long time, and it seemed to take many, many years for this to happen. So when 2011 rolled around, you must have been ecstatic about it.
For sure. Yeah. The work that I did with a committee of people was about a 5 or 6 year process, and Ottawa was very late coming to the table in terms of sort of a designation of the village. Most other major cities had one for decades, and I think part of that is, you could learn a little bit about that on the app, the history of Ottawa being the national capital, and just the fact that our community was witch hunted by the RCMP, and civil servants were fired from their jobs. So there's always been in Ottawa a very closeted, as we would say, part to our community, because there was a sort of an additional level of fear in terms of being out and about.
So then, Christine, as far as Bank Street's concerned, for starters, what is the length, like from where to where will we notice?
From Nepean to James. The BIA goes from Wellington to Catherine Street, but the village designation was between Nepean and James. At the same time, there's buildings and areas where it extended even beyond that. But when the designation was done, it took in those blocks.
Okay. So through all of this, I mean, what can we expect if we were to just walk down that area?
Well, one is the app. This was one of the important things because we wanted to really reach out to the younger generation as well. And what better way than a digital way? And I think that the images there, the videos, the interviews are really quite astounding. Along the corridor, you'll see several things. There are images that have been posted, wrapped, these mechanical boxes, over-colored in different shades of the Pride flag. And then there will be plaques that will be installed as well. So there's quite a bit, and it's ongoing. This was just the first phase.
Okay. So we only have about 45 seconds left, Glenn, but we're still looking for people to jump on board with this initiative?
Sure, absolutely. On the app and the website, we do have contact information so that people can get a hold of us, and if they have photographs that are in their personal collection, they can certainly contribute or, add information. As Christine says, it's kind of a first stage, so we're looking for work.
Perfect. Christine, Glenn, thank you very much. The Village Legacy Project.
Thank you very much.
And thank you as always for joining us here on Rogers TV. Repeats at 6 and 11.